Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, still in Sliverbow in the Raptika Greatwood. Hopefully Stoller has good news to share. A chance to reclaim the night has lit a fire in Minfilia that I would see kindled. What do you suppose she gleaned from the tablet? I have no doubt we'll find the contents of the tablet most informative. Let me begin by first explaining the origins of a tablet. I initially believed it might tell the history of a Church of the First Light. Much to my surprise, it dates back to the end of the Ronkan Empire and was likely written under the direction of a reigning ruler. It was a time of strife and unceasing war with neighboring nations. With each passing day, they did more and more territory to their enemies. In their desperation, petitions for aid were sent out to their allies. This was one such petition. And you think this ancient petition will somehow help us get into XIV? Indeed we do. For etched into this tablet is a method by which one may prove themselves an ally of the Ronkan Empire. Provided we are able to decipher said instructions, we may entreat the ruin's protectors to grant us safe passage. The problem, however, is that I presently lack the resources to decipher them in their entirety. We have had one recourse. There exists a stone monument inscribed with ancient Ronkan texts and translations into a more modern dialect, which came into use after the fall of the Empire. I'm confident it will suit our purposes. Where is this monument? Here in Scythia, quite close to Sliverbow, in fact. The good news ends there, however, for it is in possession of a rather radical faction of Dark worshippers. The Children of the Everlasting Dark. If I'm to study the monument, I must infiltrate their encampment. I have no intention of taking longer than absolutely necessary, but I will nevertheless require time to transcribe the text I need. To ensure that I will have enough, I'm afraid I must ask you and Thancred to assist me. And before you even ask, the answer is no. If we're to remain unseen, our group must be as small as possible. Alright, I stay here until you return. We won't be long. If anything should happen, you keep her safe. Then let us reconvene outside, to the west of Sliverbow where the path diverges. All set. The encampment we seek is to the north, but it would be foolish to simply rush in. A guard has been posted at Cleric to keep watch over the children. Perhaps he ought to share of their recent activity? But we must trade carefully. There's a chance we may encounter them along the way. Stay close and stay alert. I would avoid a confrontation if possible. They rejoice in dealing death to others, claiming that in doing so, they cleanse their victims of sin and usher them onto the sunless sea. I would rather not sully my hands defending myself against such madmen. I just wanted to look at you, Jin. Please leave me in peace. And a watchman. Under attack. Don't interfere with our work. Okay, child. By the blessed dark. Thank goodness you're unharmed. We would have arrived sooner, but we too had a rather unwelcome visit from the children. You're an acquaintance of Master Matoya, then. My apologies. The children have been acting strange of late, and so I thought to take a closer look. I was careless. Strange? What have you seen? At first, there seemed to be nothing out of the ordinary, the usual gathering of ingredients for poison from flora and fauna. But then I took notice of our venomous spiders. They've been breeding them in much greater numbers. It's as if they're preparing for something. Any idea as to what? It could be anything, really. If it meant the end of a blessed, nothing would be too cruel or violent for them. But perhaps we can use their present preoccupation with spiders to our advantage. If we were to induce a threat to the nests where they keep them, the children would be compelled to save them. Bees, for example, are a natural predator of spiders. Set them loose on the nest and we would have our opportunity to sneak into their encampment. What a mischievous plan, I like it. With a bit of smoke, we should be able to subdue a few colonies long enough to secure their hives. Have you anything we might be able to use? We should have smoke bombs at the outpost just over there. Then it's settled. Grab a few smoke bombs from the outpost and search about for beehives. I imagine the bees won't take too kindly to your visit, but once they're knocked out, take the beehives and bring them back here. 2 will suffice, I should think. Bees hunt spiders? For real? You don't look like a flamingo, like at all. Right, beehives. Okay, that was one beehive. The large sack, not the buzzing one. Are you able to find any? The guard returned to Sliverbow, but not before offering his thanks. As for beehives, Fankrit and I were successful in acquiring what we need. How did you fare? For God's sake, don't let them out. That's more than enough. The children are certain to be displeased. Let us hurry, before the bees begin to stir. The children's settlement is to the west, a place they call Woven Oath. According to the guard, there's an airway apart from the entrance, which leads to the spider's nest. If the fates are kind, the way will be clear. Ah, that is a blue candle lantern. We should move quickly before any of the children arrive. Up there's the airway. Do you see it? A bit far, perhaps, but we should be able to transfer back, though. Though, we should probably loosen the ropes, keeping it close, enough that it falls open when it lands inside. May I do the honors? That should do it. Now we wait.
What is that? Bees, but we are bees everywhere.
Help, somebody, help! We have to save the spiders. It sounds like our plan is working. Still, it's quite likely not all were drawn away from their posts. If you should come to blows with the children, I'll see to it any signs of a struggle are concealed. Failing that, I'll create a distraction to buy you Stoller more time. Should anyone get past me, it falls to you to guard her. Your concern is appreciated, but I sincerely doubt it will come to that. Why do I get the feeling you enjoy the idea of me loafing about bored in the shadows? Come now, Thancred. The shadows are a fitting place for a warrior of darkness. Now, if you both are ready... You'll be right behind me, okay. Quiet. womb, huh? The font of seeing suggests this is a chamber of prayer. At the very least, they would not place this near potential distractions from their worship. Perhaps the monument is further in. Trying to decipher the cave paintings here. But I probably lack context. This looks like it could have been the guys we knew as Warriors of Darkness, the previous ones. The Warriors of Light of this world. Ranger, Black Mage, here's the little White Mage, here is the Paladin and the Warrior. Yes, this is it. It will be but a moment. Keep watch of the entryway. On second thought, would you mind examining the murals on these walls while I look over this? At a glance I can tell they are old, predating the founding of the Blessed and the Children, in fact. We're not like to come here a second time. It would behoove us to learn all we can. Examine the murals and take note of what they may depict. You may move a camera as well as zoom in and out. Target the mural and examine it with left click. Set. I recognize the warriors here. There's nothing to gain from staring at my backside. Now please, I need to concentrate. The mural appears to be fairly old. A knight shields himself and their comrades from an encroaching darkness. The central figure is considerably faded. The mural appears to be very old. A ruler sits atop a throne attended by their subjects. The mural appears to be ancient. A warrior in the middle stands triumphant over what appears to be a creature of shadow. Other figures surround the warrior, rejoicing in their victory.
These paintings, they seem familiar. Depictions of heroes throughout history. The Age of Gods, the Empire of Ronka, and this. There was a man, a researcher who pored over these pieces. He offered us work when we needed it. Slaying beasts, delivering provisions. A funny old bugger he was. But he had a good heart. He believed this first painting dated back to a time of myth and legends. A tribute to the heroes of a long-forgotten era. The story went that it was rediscovered by an explorer from Ronka, who was so struck by its majesty that a second painting was commissioned, commemorating the heroes of their day. "One day you'll all be here too," he said. "Heroes immortalized forever. Maybe I'll paint you myself." I had a good laugh at that. We were only trying to make our way after all. Being heroes couldn't have been further from our minds. But it seems he actually went and did it. Before or after the flood, I wonder. Rather faded, isn't it, compared to the others? Or did someone try to scrape it off the wall? Well, maybe the man himself once he came to his senses. Do you suppose your deeds will warrant an addition to this collection? Or some other kind of monument?
Who knows?
There you are. I have everything I need. Let us quit this place.
Alright.
Is something the matter? We should go. The others are waiting.
Yeah, not even Stoller can see Artbird. Which brings to the question, what exactly is he? I mean, as far as I understand the descriptions of ghosts in this world, or in this universe, they are memories infused with ether, but if they are, then Stoller should be able to see him. So he must be without ether, but still around somehow? Good to see my distraction proved successful. I believe I now have everything needed to finish deciphering the tablet. Tell me, Serenia, did the murals appear to be of any significance? Depictions of heroes from the Age of Gods, the Ronkan Empire, and immediately before the Flood. Very astute observations. Perhaps in another lifetime you could be a curator of antiquities. Though it has no bearing on the task at hand, perhaps that knowledge may prove to be of use in the future.